Hi, we're back for our second round of midterm review, looking now at problem number 8. Now, as I read problem number 8, think to yourself that you're going to have to make two equations. As I look ahead, it talks about high school A and it talks about high school B. It mentions taking vans to school, taking buses to school, and how many kids can fit on each one. So let's see if we can create some equations that go along with this story. It says the state fair is a popular field trip destination. This year, the senior class at high school A, so I'm going to go ahead and write high school A, and the senior class at high school B, both planned trips to go to this theme park. The senior class at high school A rented and filled 8 vans. Now call me crazy, but for the word vans, I think we're going to use the letter V. Then it says they filled 8 buses. I think the letter B would be an appropriate name for buses. So how could we describe this scenario? Well, how many vans did high school A get? They got 8 of them. How many buses did high school A get? They got 8 of them. So 8 vans, 8 buses, and if we put all the kids inside them together, it says they had 240 students. You have just created an equation for high school A. Now we look at high school B. High school B also rented and filled vans and buses, but they only took 4 vans, and they only filled 1 bus. And out of all those vans and buses, they only had 54 students. Now your job is to figure out every van had the same number of students in it as did the buses. Find the number of students in each van and each bus. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at these two systems, see if we can put these two systems together and solve for vans and buses. So here's how it works. You have 8 vans plus 8 buses equals 240. 4 vans plus 1 bus equals 54. We need to get rid of one of these letters. My suggestion might be to take this bottom equation, multiply everybody by a -2. That way we can get the V's to match up, and we can change their signs so we can add. So if I multiply everybody by a -2, that gives me -8V minus 2B negative 108. So this equation is now gone. We're going to let this equation fall right up underneath it. And now we're going to add straight down. What are -8V's plus 8V's? 0, the whole purpose, get rid of the V's. -2 plus 8, positive 6. -108 plus 240. Now they have different signs, one's negative, one's positive, so I'm going to go off to the side of my paper and I'm going to subtract them. 4 gets borrowed, 10 turns into a 2, 3 comes down, that's 132 people left. And now I have to divide by 6. So how many times does 6 go into 132? Well, 6 goes into 13 twice. Leave the 1, that would leave a 2 as well. So the buses are going to carry 22 kids. Every bus will have 22 kids. But what about vans? Oh, you mean we have to take our answer and we have to go back to one of these equations and figure out what the vans would hold? Well, keep in mind you can use any of those equations. Which one of those equations seemed the easiest? My personal preference was the one that we crossed out. So I'm going to take that problem, 4V plus 1B equals 54, and guess what our B has just now turned into? 22. 4V plus 22 equals 54. We're going to get rid of the 22 by subtracting, so that's going to give us 32. And if we divide by 4, 8 people can fit in a van. So the final answer would be, you can have, how many people in a van? 8 people. How many people can fill a bus? 22 people, or students, if that's how you wanted to call it. So that was question number 8, and I highly think that would be a good one for you to practice. You need to make sure you can write equations, make sure that you can identify variables, be sure that you can solve a system. Okay? All right, pause the video, go back and see if you guys can handle question number 9.